Hey everybody, Steve here in Palm Springs. I'm sitting here in the backyard by our pool, enjoying this beautiful November weather. It's 72 degrees out right now. Sunny, very beautiful. Now, this part of the backyard is all in shade, so I don't know if this is going to be too shady, if the light's going to be too shady to film this, but I figured I would just go ahead and film and see how it turns out. I was at my cardiac rehab this morning, and one of the RNs said, "Wow, your eyes look so puffy and strange today." I said, well, it's probably the pollen. My allergies are really bad in the fall. For me, it's the worst time of year for my allergies. I have allergies all year long from all the pollen and the wind and the dust and everything in the air, but it's especially bad in November and December. So if my eyes look especially puffy and red, that's why. I told him, I said, well, you should have seen him last night. This eye looked like just a big red cherry tomato. And it just comes out of the blue. I mean, there's like no rhyme or reason. It's just, they were really, really burning all day yesterday. Right now they feel fine. They're not burning at all. But yesterday and last night, they were burning. I was adding eye drops like every hour, and it wasn't doing any good at all. But today they definitely look a lot better than yesterday. I'm just looking at a plane going by way up high, leaving one of those chemtrails. See if I can show it to you. Not that you haven't seen one before, but you can see just how blue the skies are here. It's really peaceful out. I don't know if you can hear how quiet it is. So while I'm sitting out here enjoying the backyard and enjoying this beautiful day, I have my phone, and I thought I would go ahead and read you a couple of questions that I've received. I thought these were interesting questions. They're related to each other. And hopefully I can see without my little cheater glasses. I may have to go get those. So the first comment is from Gary Phil, and they say, I didn't try the retirement thing again until 2 years ago at age 72. Now I think this is Phil leaving this question, or leaving this comment. So this is my third attempt at retiring. I think this one will stick, laugh out loud. I love sleeping as late as I want, and I do sleep a lot, laugh out loud. Yeah, that's definitely a plus of being retired, is you can sleep as long as you want, you can go to bed anytime you want, you can get up anytime you want, you don't have to make any appointments. For me, when it comes to sleeping, the biggest perk is that I can take naps during the day, and I usually take a nap after every meal. Sometimes a half hour, sometimes an hour, and I still sleep really well at night, even after sleeping 2-3 hours during the day. But I love it, and I definitely see it as a real perk of being retired. And there was another one that was also very similar, and I forget which videos they left these comments on. It must have been one of my videos specifically on retirement. So this comment comes from Sue, I don't know how to pronounce her middle name, Logue Johnson. So Sue says, my late husband retired twice, but he only had a small party at work once. Okay, so she was responding to the video I did about asking all of you if you had retirement parties. Remember that video? If you didn't see it, go back and watch it. It's kind of interesting, I think. It didn't really get a lot of views, but I thought it was like one of my favorite videos. I just thought the topic was really interesting. I was talking about why I didn't have a retirement party. So she continues, the second job, he didn't even tell me he was retiring. He took his accumulated sick leave and vacation and then just quit. And then she says, I never worked a job long enough to retire. So her husband retired twice, and Phil retired 3 times. And those questions got me thinking about my cousin Rick, who retired early. I think he was either 55 or 60 when he retired, and he was really looking forward to it. And he retired, and then I talked to him about 6 months after he retired and asked him how it was going. He said he was working again. He'd gone back to work. He had the kind of job where it was easy for him to go back to the same job, and he said he just got bored. They have a really nice house and a pool, and he said after about 6 months of working around the yard and laying around the pool, he got so bored that he had to go back to work. So I think it was about 3-4 years ago, and then he retired again so he retired a second time, and then I saw them this summer, and he said he had started going back to work again. So he's going to probably be like Phil, and it's going to take him at least 3 times before it works for him. I think he's about 65 years old now. So yeah, it must have been around 60 when he retired. It seems like it was around 5 years ago that he retired. All of a sudden there's a breeze coming up, so hopefully it's not interfering with the microphone. It's getting a little chilly here in the shade. I may have to move over to the sunny side of the yard. So I was just curious, how many of you retired and then for whatever reason decided to go back to work? I know some people go back to work because they end up needing the money. Some people go back to work because they just get bored. I think others really miss the camaraderie and the friendships and the other things that come with a job. I try to remember to stay hydrated throughout the day. It really helps to carry this around with me everywhere I go, here at the house, and when I go out to do errands and things, I always have at least one or two of these with me in the car. And it's pretty cool. I used to just carry bottled water in those little plastic things, but then I found this at Walmart a year or two ago for $1, and it's really, really thick plastic. It's fantastic. I guess I was out of the frame. I didn't realize how close I have the camera to myself. I'm doing that hopefully so the microphone will be able to pick me up. I know I'm not speaking very loudly. So I only retired once, and that was it's been almost 6 years now, and I haven't had a boring day since I retired. And I'm sure I'll never have a boring day. As long as I have this YouTube channel, it keeps me very busy, very occupied. And I think that's one of the big keys, is having some kind of retirement hobby or some passion, something that you love doing, other than just working around the house, yard work and stuff, because I'm sure that can get old after a while. Now, my cousin, he does have kids and grandkids, so I know he has family to spend a lot of time with, but I think his kids, they're still working, so they're gone during the week, during the day working. And I think the grandkid, he has one grandkid I think right now, and he's in school during most of the year, during the day, so he didn't really have family to keep him busy during the day, where I think a lot of retirees have family. I know a lot of you have left comments saying that you take care of your grandkids. Maybe they're younger and not in school yet. So I'm sure that can keep you really busy. So as long as you have something that you really enjoy doing, that you can keep busy doing after retirement, I think it can be really fun and really fulfilling. Now, if you're doing things that you don't enjoy doing, or it's an obligation to take care of people, then you might want to go back to work so you don't have to do that. So I'm just curious, if you want to share with us in the comments how many times you've retired. Once, twice, 3 times, more? And if you did go back to work, why did you go back? Was it for additional income, unexpected expenses that came up that you didn't have enough money to cover? Or you just got bored, or you missed being around people? I would think those are probably the 3 biggest reasons. I don't know if you can think of other reasons, share with us in the comments. So I am really curious to know how many of you ended up going back to work after you retired, and how long did you go back to work? I know some people never retire. They don't want to retire. Now, some people aren't able to afford to retire, but others just love working and they have no interest in retiring. But for those of you who did retire, and I'm wondering if retiring early, that seems to be a big trend these days, where a lot of people seem to be retiring early, or at least there's a lot of YouTube channels out there about why you should retire early and how to retire early, and talking about all the people that are retiring early. I wonder if this is something that comes up, or something that people think about when they're retiring early. That's a lot of years to be on your own, or maybe just with your spouse, and you may not want to spend. Now I can't remember what I was saying. As I was talking, the camera died. I got a message saying that the memory card was completely full. It's a huge memory card, so even my camera thinks I talk too much. So I had to go inside and delete almost all the old videos from the card so I could keep filming. So thank you, Sue and Gary Phil, for the comments and for giving me the idea to do this video. And since I have no idea, since I can't remember where I was, I guess this is probably just a good place to stop today. So I look forward to finding out how many of you have retired more than once. I have no idea if it's common or not. Sounds like a helicopter going over. It's funny, we're not in the path of the airport. That's a few miles that direction, so we can see off in the distance, we can see the airplanes. Once they've taken off, we can see them off in the distance, but once in a while we do get helicopters or the really small planes flying overhead here, so maybe they have like parallel lanes to fly in, I don't know. Okay, now I've lost track again of what I was saying. So obviously you can tell this video wasn't planned. I just sort of a spur of the moment thing. Since I was sitting out here on the patio, I thought I would make a quick video. So thanks for watching today. Thanks for sharing if you decide to share with us. And I hope to see you all in the next video.